hello, chat. Okay. It's such a good intro to go into the stream with the Dragon Palace song from Okami. Again, Okami is a really good game. If you haven't played it, don't play it yet because we're gonna play in the stream. Then we can all play together, right, chat? But welcome to today's stream. Again, you may have noticed that the emotes have not changed. Sorry, I couldn't get to it last night. I had a lot of things to do. But we got some interesting news today. So we have a new number of things happening. One, the emotes are going to come tonight for sure. I'm sorry about that. Took a while. Two, the website will be updated. Actually, in like a couple days. Actually, because I found out it was a billing issue, and I didn't realize I was on like a free trial for some premium thing, and I told them like, listen, I don't want your premium thing. I came in for the free services, and they were like, but you won't spend money on this. I'm like, no. This is a site where like 2 people show up at like most. There's no way that this site will ever take enough traffic to take you down. And I know for sure, I calculated it costs you a third of a penny every month to keep my site up. And they're like, you got me. But yeah, today, we're going to be doing some interesting things, okay? I have to get this out in 50 seconds because there's an ad break coming and I can't stop it. We're going to talk about the book club. So the book club is now being started on the server. I will talk to Jeff Bezos to see if I can get the entire Shrek movie, Shrek number 2, as a full ad for all of you, because I'm sure all of you really enjoy that in some way as well. We're going to be playing some Elden Ring today as well. I've got some interesting topics to talk to you all about to see how people like it, and I've got a funny photo to show you all as well. So these are topics that have been on my mind, just sort of like floating around, and I finally have it structured enough to where I think there's something for us to like talk about, and just sort of like commune over, right? This is a bit of an oratory sort of thing that we're going to be trying today. But instead of a community thing, it's just me doing the orations. Anyways, also the union is starting right now, and then we should be we're taking applications for the union right now. So if you want to sign up and get some workers' rights within Amazon, you can sign up today. You're gonna listen while you wash yourself from those ants crawling on you all day. Every time I hear about your living situation, it always sounds like there's like everything. See, Chad, this is why you need to keep your money to yourself. Chad, keep your money to yourself, all right? I don't need the money. I don't need the money. But yeah, good luck. Hopefully you're okay and that it's not too bad. And hopefully there's not too many crazy things going on. Yeah, here's another infestation. Honestly, I found like 2 or 3 ants, and I was so worried about like the infestation. I was very worried that we had ants too. My fear was that ants had like found their way into my home. The problem with ants is that like once they come, right, the ants like won't disappear ever. They'll never leave, and they'll just stay here forever the entire time, which is very painful. Also, I can't believe I'm saying this, or I can't believe Amazon made this. The ad manager just doesn't work. The notifications for when you get ads literally doesn't work. It comes in like 2 minutes late, and it comes in 2 minutes late. I don't know why. It feels like it'd be fairly easy to program, but maybe I'm that's the curse of being a programmer, right? You overestimate your own capabilities, you underestimate the problem space, and then you believe that you have a solution having only looked at it for 5 seconds. I need to stop doing that because that's a sign of egotism. True skill is absolving all responsibility. Yeah, your ants live in the walls. Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. I don't know why walls have empty cavities. I have never understood why walls have empty cavities. I'm sure it's for a structural like reason, for like, you know, people not to like, you know, have the walls collapse on them and stuff, but I don't want that. What I want is a system where the walls are like solid all the way through, completely solid, where nothing shows up, right? Because again, my fear is that if the ants come and they like get stuck in the walls, or if like rats come, or beetles come, or spiders, then they'll just keep growing and like multiplying, and then they'll eventually take over the entire wall. In which case, what do I do? Did they know Michelin makes airless tires? There's no way! What do you mean airless tires? What? That doesn't make any sense. Wait, how? Airless tires? Isn't that just like a rubber donut? Wait, it's a puncture-proof tire system. Oh my god. The first airless you just learned in an ad. Wait, are you still inside the ads? Thank you, Stick. I think they're still inside the ad. You're welcome. We will now talk about Michelin Airless Tires, sponsored by Michelin. Sponsored by Michelin. Here we go. You know what's funny is that there's now a divide between subs and non-subs, right? And again, it's unfortunate. I actually tried my best to figure out like a better way to do it where people don't get demolished by a 3-minute ad every hour. But that's the only way to avoid the pre-roll ads, where if you accidentally reload for whatever reason, or if your connection drops, which is a very common thing on like mobile, right? If you switch off of your browser to text someone and you come back and this pre-roll, it kicks in again. It's the most annoying thing. It's why I love Samsung's feature on their phones, where they allow you to split the screen in like two. So I'll do bottom half texting my wife, top half Northern Lion. And it's like, oh yeah, sick. And then I can text my wife, and Northern Lion is still talking to me. I'm like, yo, he's calling me out. I feel it, you know, it's great. Woo, Northern Lion, yeah. Anyways, this is the Michelin Airless Tire. Did you see the Uptis? Yeah, you're an elite. By the way, for those of you who actually do want to get rid of the ads without wanting to spend, but you also watch more Twitch streamers than me, just get Turbo. So I found this out, okay? So again, Turbo, okay, well, if you just search Turbo, it doesn't really tell you anything. Turbo is too common of a word. Uptis sounds like a liquid joke. Michelin up this ass. Yeah, it's true. Michelin up this ass or something. Michelin up this ass. First airless mobility solution for passenger vehicles. This is actually crazy to me. I can't believe you actually found this in an ad. Who knew that ads work? You know what's funny? This website's probably visited by like one person. Once a year. Like one single person once a year goes to see the site, right? And then all of a sudden, they see like multiple hits within the last like three minutes. And they all come from the same source. Like I can attribute all those views to my stream. Because we're the only ones who would ever want to see this. I'm not gonna lie, if I saw this, I'd be like, dude, something's wrong with your tire. This also looks very difficult to drive in. I'm not gonna lie. And also, doesn't it ruin your like gas mileage? Because like, it just doesn't really work? This seems awful. And, like, it can still get punctured, no? Like, it still gets punctured because it's like, the middle, if you puncture the structure, then the structure is weak. And so your car is all like wobbly and stuff. This feels like a scam. I don't know if this actually works. Wow, what a nice still image of somebody going through it. But I will say, I would love to make ice cream with this tire. And that's a very niche joke that people who are like addicted to TikTok only would only they would understand. All right, that's a very niche joke. And you have to be in the know on TikTok to understand. There was a whole phase on TikTok where people were making ice cream with their tires, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And so what they would do is they would put like a ice cooler, and they would put like, you know, milk inside, spin it around until it gets like cold to make ice cream. Download? Why am I gonna download a video? Wait, Chad, we can download these videos. Wait, let's just download these. wait, I'm gonna download these and then I'm gonna show it to you, okay? I'm doing this for you, chat. Hey, clip proxy. By the way, the reason why it says clip proxy is because I'm pretty sure whoever made this, they forgot to make it so that it's actually playable. Like, basically, they ran out of money making this website because they're too busy sending their food reviewers over to like random places to eat at like random restaurants to try to find the next Michelin star, right? Because again, the Michelin star is owned by the Michelin Tire Company, and so in their haste to fly people out, their finances have gone downhill, which is bad. Now let's watch some of these beautiful ads, okay? Here, let's what are these? Why do these exist? Here, let's see. What's the current video? Okay, the current one is a Latin chanting. It's not even like a video. It's just Latin chanting. Latin chanting. Decreasing. There's no music. There's no sound. Waste of tires. I mean, okay, look. The nail thing, this makes the most sense, right? If you accidentally go on a nail, like, that's understandable. If somebody's driving and they see this and they still decide to drive over it, I don't want to be in the car with them. That's just dangerous. It doesn't seem like a very reasonable thing. That just seems awful. I don't know. I don't really feel like this is a very good video to show off exactly what this is. Video is after Stokes are packed with mud and snow and demonstrate ejection as the Optus rolls. Yeah, this is an official video that Michelin probably paid like, you know, $15,000 for it. So in marketing budget, I've worked in many companies. The marketing budget is insane. Every single video is like uppriced. These videos are like $15,000 each. Imagine paying $15,000 for this. For some of these like shaky hand cam recording of their tire being like tossed through like a cold winter wasteland. There's no music in this. Okay, well that's proxy 1. Let's go to proxy 2. Okay, it's the same thing. Let's go to proxy 3. It's just a TikTok video. Okay, let's go to proxy 4. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's... I feel like... Is this website fake? I think this website's fake. I think I just downloaded, like, a virus. What the fuck is Michelin Media? But... This website's fake, chat. These 3 videos is just this video, but split into 3 parts. And you can't even watch it on the website. Back to Michelin, browse the Michelin newsroom. Michelin appoints new senior leader. Can't believe you thought a product called Optus was real. I was bamboozled. You made this on your own, didn't you? You made this fake site to get me live on stream. I trust my viewers too much. But yeah, if you want ad-free viewing so you don't get to see shitty ads like that ever again, because honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel like most ads just aren't good anymore. We are not well, sorry, I put the not there, but we are trustworthy is what you actually said. But if you want to, just get Turbo if you watch more than one streamer. Okay, think about this. What is the current Twitch subscription cost in Canada? Let's see. Updates the pricing. All right, in Canada, this is back in February. Okay, in Canada, it's like $8. All right, so 2 subs. If you sub to 2 channels to get ad-free viewing, you're already at $16 every month. This Turbo alone is $14, and I still get the same cut out of this. I still get the same cut, and on top of that, it means that you can watch even a third streamer without ads. So you can go and watch, like, I don't know, who's a streamer that everyone likes. I like Henya, so you know you can watch Henya. It's like, oh yeah, you get to watch Henya the Genius, and it's like, okay, cool. And you know that you have to pay a single $1. It's just free. Maybe I should get this actually, because I actually want custom chat username colors. Wait, you can get custom chat username colors? And wait, I actually stopped my VODs from disappearing every 14 days. But this cuts into my YouTube channel, and so I personally won't get this. Because this, otherwise I'm just gonna delete the VODs every single day. But yeah, welcome to today's stream. I'm sorry that I'm late. I stayed up late last night doing some things. We're gonna talk about the. I forgot that I still have the censor bar. That's hilarious. We're gonna talk about the book club. Okay, we have now officially starting the book club. It's starting from like right now until August 1st. We can extend the time or lower the time. There's a poll inside of the Dark Academia channel. In fact, I'll go to the channel right now and show you it live, because I'm a believer. I believe that all of you will be nice and won't post anything awful inside the Discord as I'm looking at it, right? I trust all of you. I trust all of you with my life. Yes. Oh, streamer, trust us. Whoa, what a fool. The esophagus? No. And don't mind these hidden channels. These are just here for me to like test things. And these are definitely here for like testing things. So just pretend like they don't exist, okay? Dark Academia. By the way, this is the official image for this for the book club. Look at this image. I found this on a stock image site, and I was like, "This is perfect. This is the best. This is the most indicative image of like us as a community for reading. This is actually amazing. I love this. I actually love this. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, chat. Jeez Louise. For some reason, my thing decided to try to open something in a browser. I don't know what that link was. Maybe I have a virus. I don't know. I'll deal with it later. Anyways, we're going to be doing the Dark Academia Era's first ever book club. Okay, as I mentioned, you have until August 1st. It's a 2-month long book club because I know that people have lives and stuff like that. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to dedicate your time to read a book within like 2 weeks or something, or like a month, right? Most book clubs I've seen have been on like a 1-month schedule, and even I found that to be very tough to do, just to commit to, right? However, we can lower that time down if we feel like engagement is falling off, because I'm all about the analytics, baby, the analytics. As well, I'll be asking you some questions about a month in about the book, and I want every answer to be 50 characters or like less, right? It's just a very short answers to like questions, just for me to see like, do people share the same opinion as me, or should I ban you, right? As well, I'll be reading a book reports from all of you as well, with a maximum limit of 200 words or so, and you can go a bit over, it's fine, but don't go crazy over. I want this to not be like a super crazy thing that you have to like work towards. I just want you to like express your thoughts and your opinions on these books, right? The one point of the book club is to read books and to sort of like explore new things, right? It's to discover the endless realm of like reading, right? And there's a lot of books out there, everything from any kind of genre to any kind of like quality level to any kind of like topical piece, right? And like it all varies in terms of like seriousness too. So there's a wide breadth of content out there. And so the goal of this is for all of us to feel like we're explorers going into a narrative wasteland, right? However, the other goal is that because it's a book club where it's a collaborative sense, where it's a collaborative effort from the community, I also want you guys to feel comfortable sharing your thoughts on books with each other, right? So whether it's a good or a bad thought about the book, I don't really care. I just want you to like share it, right? Because again, some things will resonate with you differently than others will. And I don't want you to feel like, oh, like this resonated with them, and so mine looks like nothing in comparison. Like no, it's your experiences are just as valid as someone else's. And I think that's a very, very, important point to remember, is that no matter how much you compare yourself to somebody else, you're still you, right? And so you should love yourself, and you should absolutely take care and take pride within yourself. Otherwise, what's the point? If it ain't shtick. Hi, welcome you two. Welcome. By the way, Rydex, about to let you know as well, because you weren't there when we announced it. I have a Discord now, if you want to join. Finally, have a Discord. Type exclamation mark. That's great. You were one of the original people who like kept on asking for it, and I know I kept saying it'll never happen, but I lied. It happens, and boy oh boy, it's a lot more fun than I expected. So it's good. And again, you don't have to participate. You don't have to. It's just an optional thing. But if you want to, I'll be hosting more events slowly but surely. We also have a co-op gaming event coming up again within 2 weeks, and we'll see. I'm still waiting on the poll results to see how. Like what everyone's timing is, and so we'll see how it goes. You think I'd missed it? I'm already there. Holy shit. Teleport's behind me. You think I'd miss it, kid? I'm already there. That's good. Welcome, because we're talking about the book club, the both of you. Now, what is it? Where am I? Oh yeah, so there's gonna be reports, okay? Again, if you share your thoughts on these books, okay, for everyone, and if you see other people's thoughts too, if you can, you have to keep the comments about someone else's reports to be positive, and withhold your critiques unless somebody asks for it, right? Because I want this to be a welcoming space for people to like share their thoughts. And the truth is, there is no, I guess, like wrong interpretation, unless you read 1984 and you go like, yeah. I think society needs to go towards this. No one's gonna grill on you, right? No one's gonna grill on you unless you have that opinion, okay? So, for the most part, like, I just want to keep this as like a chill, welcoming thing that people just kind of come and like discuss the book with. I don't mind if there's like discourse, but what I do mind is that if people put other people down, or if people like tear down someone's like work without really understanding their point and seeing it from their point of view first, right? So it's very important that that's all upheld, and this is all written down here. So it's again in the Discord. Now you might be wondering, what do you get for all of this work? Right now, nothing. And even in the future, probably nothing as well. It's not a contest, as I said. This is to broaden our sense of this is to broaden our horizons and get us to experience new things. Even for me, quite a few of these books are new to me. The ones that I provided a decent description for are the ones that I know about. The ones that I haven't are the ones that I have no clue about. And so this is us just imagine You're okay. Imagine that you are the. Imagine I'm in, okay. I don't know who wants to be Indiana Jones. Okay, imagine I'm Indiana Jones and you're all the side characters, but you're not the evil side characters because those ones die. You're in my camp. You're in the Indiana Jones camp, and so you live, right? That's a pretty good thing. We're going on an exploration. We're finding the monkey's paw, and we're gonna uncurl the monkey's paw to save humanity, right? That's just the way it goes. Now, without further ado, these are the books. You can be short round. Who the fuck is? I've never. I need to be honest here. I've only ever seen like clips and scenes from Indiana Jones. Who the fuck is short round? Listen, buddy. Listen, buddy. If anybody's short round, I'm short around. Okay. I call dibs on the Asian kid. I call dibs on the Asian kid. He's the only one I can play in this whole movie. Who is this kid? Who is this kid? Who played them? Who is the actor? I have no clue. Juan Lee, also better known as Short Round or Shorty, is a young street urchin whose family was killed in a Japanese bombing raid. Jesus Christ! What the fuck? What do you mean? Oh, wait, he was Ke Huy Quan. I know this guy. I know him. Do you know how I know him? He's a brother. he's actually in a lot of movies, I think. Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that was his that was when he got really well known. Because I think before then he wasn't really doing much else. I think besides that, I think all of his other roles were minor, right? I mean, I can see it being Short Round. I didn't even know who was Short Round. Cool, very very cool. Was born in Sairang, in 1971. Anyways, here are the books. As I mentioned, these books most of these are new to me, so I didn't write a description for all of them. But the ones that I did write, please go read them because I didn't really work hard on them, but I hope they're entertaining to you. Okay. First up is The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. Okay, this is what the book looks like. You can go to the links here, and again, just for context, I tried my best to get you guys deals, but I emailed Amazon and they were like, "Fuck off, you're too small." And I was like, all right, I guess I can't do anything. Don't tell me how you got your books. We are not legally responsible for anything. Don't tell me how you got your books. I'm just providing you legal avenues to get your books, okay? You do you. You figure it out on your own, chat. I don't care. I just care that we share our thoughts on these books and that you read these books. Not that you actually own them. I don't sorry, that's not what I mean. You have to own them to read them. What I'm trying to say is I don't care how you come into possession of them because depending on where you live, it may not be accessible for you, right? This link might be banned in your country. I have no clue. But The Unlikely Pilgrimage, time to spend my Audible credits. Yeah, actually, yeah. If you have Amazon Prime or if you want to sign up for an Audible trial, you can get this in an audiobook form, so you can hear it as you go through things too. And The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry is actually a really good audiobook because it's so slow. It's so slow. Use code VSTICK. Can we not use the V, please? The V was a mistake. Okay, the V. I'd rather my code be sticky or something, right? And then imagine if I sell you something and then it's like balls and okay, use code sticky to get your balls. You know what I mean? It'd be great. I'd rather sticky at this point. It's just funnier. Use code sticky for 100% off on your favorite websites. The Unlucky Pilgrimage of Harold Fry is a great book for an audiobook form because it's a very slow book. It meanders, kind of like how the old man himself meanders, and yet he meanders towards something, for something. And in the process of going through that journey and getting to some destination, whatever that destination is, we learn more about him, and we learn more about the lives of the people that he encounters, and we learn more about life in general. It's a very, very surprisingly thoughtful book. It's surprisingly good in the way that it handles certain topics, IMO. And it's interesting the way that it sort of paints this picture of somebody who hasn't really understood for a long time many, many things. And has only ever had it, and has only ever had the chance to understand finally in this moment of silence and sort of introspection. So I highly recommend this book, but I recommend all of them. That's why I put all of them here. But that's the first book, and then like the Pilgrimage of a Herald Try. TBH, you usually find it quite hard to read books in English, but you will try your best. I thought about that too. I was thinking of like how do I get books that are multilingual, but I could not for the life of me figure out how Amazon works or like how to find like book translations. So I'm sorry. As far as I can tell, most of these books are in like because I only know books in like English too, and I don't know how books get translated. I'll try my best in the future to get more books that can be multilingual. Like I know for sure, like Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis is like translated into multiple languages, but it's like for the first book club, I'm not gonna make you read like Franz Kafka, right? Like that seems a bit intense. I'm gonna go slow, right? So let's. And unfortunately, the slower books that I know, I've only ever heard of them in like English, so I have no clue if they have anything else. However, can't wait for Sticky as a code for Raid Shadow Legends. Can you imagine? Get your next 5-star with code Sticky. Oh yeah, it's time to get sticky. And then it's like, and then it's like one of these ads, right? It's one of these like weird like shitty ads where it's like all like nasty and like stuff. Where is it? Part 2. Crop these. Like no. Little point. Okay, don't show that. Okay, well I lost it. I was going to play it for you all. Well, this is the time to get better, I guess. I mean, try your best. If you can't, then it's okay too. Again, this is why I've included books of varying levels of complexity and quality and sort of like time, and also different mediums as well. I've also included more mainstream books versus more niche books in order for you to get like a better chance of sort of being able to participate. And you can read, and again, you can read as many of these books or as little of these books as you want. So there's no limit. Just go for it as you wish. Hopefully, people enjoy these. But yeah, don't worry. In the future, we'll find more multilingual books. It's just because I really don't know how to find like books that are translated. But I think I have an in some way. I just couldn't find it in time when I chose these books, and I promised you guys the book club would start by this week. So the next book is going to be The Shadow over Innsmouth. So this is an H.P. Lovecraft book. So again, all the fair warnings and stuff. Read the history on them if you want. But I've never read this book, and I'm going to read it on stream actually. So at some point we're going to be reading this book on stream as well. So we're bringing back the old H.P. Lovecraft live stream reading streams, which is always fun, right? Last time we read The Color. No, it was The Color something. It was The Color something, and that one was amazing. That short story was really, really creepy. It was really, really, really good. However, because I've never read it, the only thing that I can say is I can only comment on the copyright of this. In the US and Canada, the copyright of the book is still up in the air, but as far as I can tell, in Canada, it's copyright free. So whatever I'm doing is legal. United States, you have to buy it. In Europe, you can actually just get this book. You can go online on this site like I am, and you can go read this book. Because it's public domain now. It's been like 90 years, and they wrote the book before copyright laws work like crazy. So, okay, Zelda, you're too loud now. Calm down, Zelda. All right. The next one is a manga called Wotakoi. Love is hard for otaku. Again, as I mentioned, I'm including various different types of books and mediums and at varying difficulty levels to give everyone a shot to be able to participate. I'm also including different genres so that people have like things to jump around without feeling locked into like serious books, right? Let's say you're not in the mood for a serious book. Let's say you're going through some tough times, right? And that happens. That's a very normal thing. You don't really want to wind down by reading a book about like, somebody turning into a cockroach, right? You wanna go down and you wanna read a comfy, cozy little romance manga. Well, that's what you're gonna get from Wotakoi. Love is hard for otaku. You can also watch the anime because I watched it. It's pretty accurate, but I am actually partial to the manga because the manga has a lot of like really interesting bits and pieces to it. It's a very interesting manga because of the way that they use the medium to full effect. So there's like footnotes, there's like stuff written on the sides, all the different words and things that you read are important to the story. It's like there's a whole bunch of like context on the pages that's not necessarily within the panels, and it's actually a very fascinating way of using the medium of a manga to tell a story and using almost the meta space of like a manga to like add more volume to what you're reading. It's a very very good thing. As well, despite it being a romance manga, it's not your stereotypical romance manga. It actually deals with a lot of different personal character traits, and I found it to be very related. relatable as being as somebody who's like very quiet, who's more of a recluse, who's very withdrawn, who really enjoys being by themselves and just kind of like diving and like sticking my nose into just games and just keeping my like head down, right? That's all, you know what I mean? And then it's a fascinating look. It's a very mundane look at a mundane life of being like office workers who are in love, and yet it's a very, very fascinating take on that with a very humorous style that only gets cringy sometimes. And so I think it works out very well. I'm also partial to it because, again, as you all know, I met my wife when I was 3 years old, and we've been friends ever since. So it's pretty much our life, except for the fact that I work in the office and she does her own thing, and you know what I mean? And we actually like each other. But you know what? Hey, this is yeah. I mean, I won't spoil it, but hey, actually, I've said too much. Next book is Catcher in the Rye. I have nothing to add about this either because I completely forgot everything about this book. I'd only remember that it involves teen angst as like a main theme, because the Wikipedia article mentions that this is a very, very, very popular book among young adults. So, if you want to relive your teenage years, your cringy teenage years, this might be your book. But also, I actually don't know how serious that this book is, so this book might be extremely serious. All I know is that this is probably a classic book, and so most people in the West have probably read this as part of their curriculum. I know for sure I did at some point. I just forgot about it. Met her when you were 3, but ate her when you were 30. Okay, for context, the joke is I ate her like a cannibal. I didn't eat her in like bed or something. Okay, that's the joke. But also, it's a joke. She's alive. The final book, which is kind of a weird one. Okay, this is a very strange book. Is All Tomorrows. Okay, I need to explain this one. I only found out about this from like a random thread about like these like weird books that people like, and I was like, oh cool. And then people were talking about this, and apparently this one has a whole Wikipedia article. And one of the most popular ways to find this book is on a speedrunning wiki. So you have to go to a speedrunning wiki, download a PDF for this book, and read the book. And that speedrun wiki has outdated techniques only for GoldenEye. Otherwise, that wiki isn't even used. And so it's the weirdest way to find this book. It used to be on someone else's site, and somebody re-uploaded it to a speedrun wiki, okay? It's a book involving body horror and aliens, and about sort of like an alternate history from what I read of like what happens if like aliens were real and like what they like did. It's more of a scary book, but I don't know if there are pictures. But just in case, I don't know if there's like a content warning, but just be wary about that. That link is also safe. Trust me, it's fine. I downloaded it. As far as I can tell, I only got like 2 pop-up windows, and there's like there's like a half-naked lady dancing on the bottom corner of my screen, but I think it's fine. That's just part of the package, right? So it's okay. And that's all the books. Hopefully you enjoy the selection. Again, it's a very light selection. I tried my best to find things that would like spread across a very broad, diverse set of domains, as well as a broad level of like reading ability, as well as a broad level of like complexity, as well as within other mediums. As I mentioned, now we have like a manga, which is mangas are basically picture books in the way that they tell stories, with like how subtle some of the drawings can like be. I think that's the best way to like say it. But hopefully this gets us like a good start. Okay, next time there'll be even more books, and there'll be even like a larger, broader set. But hopefully this feels good for all of you. If you have any books that you want to add, you have about a week to throw them in. So just give me any book suggestions that you want. This channel is also not just for the book club. You can talk about books or webtoons or any kind of reading activity that you like. I also dropped a bunch of webtoons up here which are not a part of the book club. So if you want to read those as well, just for funsies, then you can. Is the main character of Noblesse sick or sick? Show my stick, show my stick! Use code STICKY now to get me to show my stick. Actually, you should have a channel point to do something. I'm not sure. Yeah, mathematically perfect waste. If you use that, then yeah, I'll like show my stick. You have to eventually get to that though. That's mathematically perfect. If you knew what the math ended up being, you would know that that's a mathematically perfect number. As well, please do vote in this poll to tell me if you want more time or less time if you're a speed reader in general, and we'll see where to go from there. There's no option for if you don't want to change anything, so just don't vote if you don't want to change anything, in which case that might be the way there. So we'll see how it goes. And as always, channel this. When you're going through these books, channel this image, okay? Again, it's about experiencing. Just put your finger to the book and just feel it, right? Hopefully there's a Braille version of these books. Actually, I just realized. I don't think there's a Braille version of manga. I should really think about that. I don't know. We'll have to think about this in the future. But that's why I include different mediums, okay? Just channel this. This is all of us, chat. You and I. Now give me a moment. I need to take a quick call. Sorry. Okay, apparently the ant infestation is a lot worse than I thought. I saw 2 ants, and I thought, like, that's a lot of ants. Apparently there's a shit ton of ants. I just never go upstairs. So, there's a shit ton of ants. So we're getting sprayed. So if I pass out at any point, it's because of the ant spray. However, the basement is also like actually completely isolated in terms of like it's almost like a soundproof and a airproof seal on the entryways. So I'm pretty sure it won't come down here. But if it comes through the vents, it'll be like that like scene in like, you know, every spy movie where it's like the main spy gets like gassed and gets like knocked out, and then they wake up like, you know, their hands tied in a chair as someone steps on their balls, right? So we'll see how it goes. All right, we'll see how it goes. You may hear me shuffle around as I try to struggle to stay awake and also open windows and stuff, but it should be okay. Android user. Ants in your pants, ants in my pants, ants in my home, somewhere. I've only seen 2. So apparently they're like everywhere. But I'm like, I only see 2, so maybe I'm just very clean down here or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they come from. But it does explain a lot, because when we first moved in here, my entire family, we found a bunch of bottles of like ant spray, like a shit ton. We found like a whole like closet full of ant spray, and we're like, nobody needs that much ant spray, right? No, now it makes sense. And now it makes sense. So I saw the damage upstairs. There's a lot of ants. I just didn't know this. Yeah. As well, if you want to keep track of the event itself, if you look up here in the top left of your Discord, there's a little event thing. Okay. You can sign up and join the events. So you can join the event, the book club event. I'll be saving this not for any streams or anything. I'll be saving this for actual like community events within the Discord itself. As far as I can tell, if you're in other servers, this should help remind you as well. Like it'll give you a notification when it does happen. So this is a great way for you to be able to be reminded of like things happening. We'll be using this for the community game day as well. As I mentioned, please vote in that within the Discord at somewhere. Here, up here. Please vote in this so we know which games to prioritize. I won't show the results yet because I'm scared of causing swing votes, but I want you all to know your votes are valued. But the lowest game will have to go. The lowest game will absolutely have to disappear because I think... Jack and Daxter playtime. Well, we're not going to do a full run, right? But as like a full playtime, it's like 12 hours, okay? So we can... I want to at least get out of the starting area and get to like maybe 1 or 2 different levels where like things happen. All right, so it's gonna take a while. Okay, and then Nightmare Kart is like Mario Kart but like Bloodborne, and so that one's probably going to take a while too. And Crash Team Racing again is just Mario Kart but with the shitty Sonic. It's a Sonic that spins in a circle like without moving. Right? Crash Bandicoot. So just be warned, it's gonna take a while. But if we speedrun Jak and Daxter, it'll be a couple of hours. Wait, what's the Jak and Daxter speedrun? What's the precursor legacy? Sure. It's 53 minutes? Wait, the fastest speedrun for this game is 53 minutes. Holy shit. What? IGN. Jak and Daxter speedrun finished in 55 minutes. Wow, look at this. Wow, amazing. Jak and Daxter 100% speedrun in 1 hour 33 minutes, and they do it with like a bunch of exclamation marks, almost to be like, I'm proud of this. Like my brother in Christ, this is too long. Look at this. Wait. What is it? God, my image folder is getting is getting way too huge. Look at the amount of exclamation marks, as if this is a good time. Like, dude, like that's enough time to go eat lunch and then come back home. Like, that's enough time to leave your house, go on like a small expedition to the zoo, and then come home. That's enough time to go to the library, read like a bunch of books to find which one you like, and then come home. Speaking of libraries, please utilize your libraries where you can, if you have them. Okay. Try not to. I don't want you to spend your money if you don't have it. And again, I don't care how you get your books, but just try your best to minimize the impact on you. Oh yeah, your library card is expiring. I owe my library $38.27. And I was like, okay, how is this possible? I've never been to the library except for when I was like 8 years old. And they were like, how old are you? And I was like 29. And they were like, yep, 21 years ago, we have a book that you took out and you never brought back called The Twisted Blade. And I was like, I still have that book on my shelf. I will not read, and I'll totally bring it back. And I never went back. I owe them $38.27. And I'm ashamed. I was a criminal when I was younger, and I'm still a criminal today. I was ashamed. Don't do that. Just know that I'm ashamed of my actions. I was a wild child. Anyways, sorry. I need to go upstairs, double check that the spraying is going well. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay? I'm so sorry. Give me just a moment, and I'll let you. When we're back, I'm gonna talk about some more things, and then we'll get into the Elden Ring stuff. Okay? I'll be back in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Really quickly. Sorry. I've learned something terrifying. I've learned something very terrifying. The ants are falling down from a tree onto our rooftop. So, we just get like a cascade of ants. Because I was like, I don't see ants anywhere in the basement. And they're like, no, but there's a shit ton of ants upstairs. And I was like, where? And then they were like, yeah, they're just in this corner. I'm like, they're coming from the window then, right? I opened the window blind because we never open windows, right? It's like dozens of like ants just like chilling there. I'm like, holy shit, where are they coming from? I look aside and I realized, like, I forgot we have a giant tree that's like overhanging us. It's like, oh shit, all the ants are falling on us. And they're like climbing up through the windows. But the weird part is, they're not in the basement. They're specifically airdropping onto my place. I don't understand. This has happened twice, okay, in 2 different places. When my wife and I used to live in a different place too, it had like a weird skylight thing, which we never really bothered with, right? One day, I woke up and I heard buzzing everywhere, and then something landed on my face, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Right? I swap it off, I swat it off, right? It lands on the bed. It's a flying ant. Like, that thing has like 2 like fully grown wings. I'm like, what the fuck? And my wife is still sleeping, right? And then I see an ant crawling on her side of the like blanket as she's sleeping. So I like flick it off. And I'm like, get the fuck off my wife, you sons of bitches, right? I'm like, what the fuck? But I thought it was like a small thing, so I killed them, right? Then I had to take a call for work. So I go outside and I took a call. And I had to sit in like a small, like, in the middle of like the hallway just to like, you know, have like space. And then I was petting my like dog, right? And I kept seeing ants land everywhere. And I was like, where are they coming from? And this is the hallway with the skylight, right? And so as my dog is like panting on me and is like, it was my older dog. And then as I was like playing with her, I saw like ants like keep on like landing on her. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, get the fuck off of her. And then she like kept trying to like eat them too, right? Then I looked up at the skylight. And there was a nest of them. There was like hundreds of them up there. I was like, holy fuck. I ran into... in the middle of the meeting, I remember. I was like, okay, hey guys, I'll have to... I'll join this meeting later. I have a bit of a problem. I left. I posted a message saying I've got ants and I need to de-infest my house right now. I'm gone for the rest of the day. Closed my laptop, ran into the room. I was like, honey, we got a problem. And she's like, what's the problem? I bring her outside and I'm like... Do you see the problem? She's like, holy shit, that's a lot of ants. And for like a good 2 or 3 days, she slept downstairs and I like tried to clean the room. I tried to like reinforce it, but the ants kept coming. So one day I had to go up there and I fumigated the ants and myself, and I'm pretty sure to this day, I lost a bit of my eyesight because of it. They were so, like, you could see the fog of, like, the ant spray that I used. I just kept my finger on the trigger and I just kept blasting. For like a good like 20 minutes. The can went from full to like 70% gone. I'm pretty sure like half my body is like ant spray now. That's probably why they don't come down here, because they still smell it on me. Damn, they do that now. Yeah, they like fly. It's crazy. Relatable. The ants are coming for you. The covenant will never be annulled. The flying ones are bitches. Yeah, there's so many of them. And they were huge. They were huge. They're like the size of your fingertip. And so, and you hear the buzzing of their wings. It's like the buzzing of bees, but like hundreds of them. So you hear like, zzz, it's like, oh. But thankfully, these ones that are coming down to us are just small ones. They're like smaller ants. It's not too bad. But tonight I'll have to fumigate the entire basement, I guess, which is gonna be fun. means I can't do anything for like while it's being fumigated, because like you don't really want to be in the same room as like a fumigation, because it smells awful and everything feels all sticky, full of like poison. And then I have to clean all the fabric and like stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was an interesting find. I honestly, that's why I haven't seen ants. Again, my whole streaming setup, even where I sleep, is like in the basement. Well, it's not where I sleep, but like it's basically where I sleep when I'm too lazy to go upstairs. And boy oh boy, is there a lot. Literally bitches. Now that you think about it, I think those are females. Okay, can we not say that, chat? Can we not say that? We already are gonna get misogynistic comments about yesterday's stream. Okay, like I didn't mean to laugh at it. It was the absurdity of it. These bitches and bastards. It's funny how like those like words are very like tied to like one's gender. But yeah, we're gonna move on to something funny. Besides the ants, we love women. Besides ants, I have something to show you as well that's like funny, that I want to show you all, because this thing always makes me laugh. It's a photo that I've been holding on to for a very long time. I don't know the source of it, but I wanted to read it for all of you because of how funny it is. Is it this one? No, that's the FemSocks one. I want you to just look at this photo and just have a good laugh. Order. This is a review of a restaurant, okay? And they gave 3 for food, 3 for service, 5 for atmosphere. Order a Greek salad. They're lazy, and they cut all the tomato, onion, and cucumber in small pieces with a machine cutter, and it makes hard to eat the salad, and tastes not as good as when they slice. When I asked the waiter why, he said is easy. I can bring you a spoon. Real? Eat salad with a spoon? I just want to share that with all of you. I really enjoy this. But besides that, I've been watching a show called Suits. So if you know Suits, it's a show about lawyers. Okay, my wife and I have gotten really into Suits, and boy oh boy, it's actually really, really good. The thing that I've realized about Suits is that it runs on the same structure every single time. It's a bit like I don't know. It's a bit like any your average like comedy show. It feels like a Friends episode in the way that it's like structured. It has the same general structure every single time. It's like within a single episode, you'll get the hero's arc like every single time. It's a dopamine show, right? And that's what lawyers live for. It cuts out all the boring stuff that like lawyers do over months and months of like work. The truth is, all you get is the highs and the lows immediately. And so, while the show is very, very good, I can't help but be distracted by how repetitive that structure is. Even though every case that they present is very interesting, what I found is that the way that it works is like this, okay? Main character comes in, says some snarky comments. His the second main character, I guess the deuteragonist, which is like the lawyer partner, says some other snarky comments about his snarky comments and tries to downplay him, right? Then he says that we have a new case, and then they get introduced to the people. You get a lay of the land. You know the case. The deuteragonist then says, "Go do the work." The protagonist then says, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." After much, guffawing and trying to get out of it, right? Have you ever played Ace Attorney Stick? Yes, I have. But not all of them. I've been meaning to do an Ace Attorney stream at some point for all of the games, because I've only played like one of them on the DS, and I know that the other ones are also good. But you then go through that whole like a sequence, right? We then see a bit of research, and then all of a sudden the main protagonist, like old life, like creeps up, and we see these like side characters showing off their like stuff. Lewis ends up being kind of an asshole in like every single episode in like some way. Then they come to a standstill. They try to present it. They think they have it in the bag, and then problem, it gets messed up in some way. And so now, the secondary main character, the boss, says to the guy, the protagonist, go and figure this out, okay? Then you see the whole journey of them trying to figure out some random stuff, and then the solution is always the same, and I hate it, okay? The protagonist presents their solution, it fails. Then the other guy, the other protagonist, the deuteragonist, goes to have a chat with the other partners. Somebody says some random offhand comments like, "Oh man, I've been gooning all day." Then he says, "Gooning." Walks off screen. Next cut, they solve the problem because he intuited the situation, the solution from the word gooning. And I'm like, dude, like how it's the same structure every single time. And the thing is I really enjoy the show. Like the things that they talk about are like interesting. Like that one, like the first 3 episodes immediately hook you in immediately, right? Like this genius from Harvard who drops out because he thinks he is a genius. Turns out that he's not actually a genius. Does all the stuff. And then, like, you know, them solving cases like the whole buying out the company instead of having the company be gutted out and sold overseas, selling it to a car enthusiast who loves cars because the company makes car engines. It's like, the premise is so cool, but the structure is the exact same over and over and over again. But it also introduced me to the world of law. So, did you know, Chad, that there's such a thing called a white shoe company? I had no clue about this. White shoe used to be kind of like a derogatory term in terms of like how like it used to be like, you know, calling somebody like elite in like a bad way, but also in like a good way too. It was a weird term where like, it was used on like both sides. It was a class divide thing. Then it just became like a moniker for companies that like practiced this particular thing. Okay, Chad, I'm gonna tell you the secret to run a perfect business. Okay, Chad, just listen carefully. The secret to running a perfect business is it's hire people from Harvard and Stanford, and that's it. That's apparently the entire point of these businesses. Is they hire people from these 2 schools, okay? And I learned a whole bunch about this, Chad. Did you know that these schools have fraternities and stuff? A bunch of fraternities, like Phi Beta Kappa, Alpha Beta Sigma. Like this is probably where Sigma males come from, right? This is where Alpha males, Beta males, and Sigma males come from, right? It's from these fraternities because it's named like this. But I also learned about some other interesting fraternities as well. This is a whole thing that I found, okay? It's going to be a fun little thing here. I found this. Some fraternities are built to portray a certain class divide, to sort of separate, you know, the wheat from the chaff, for the for the elite to stand apart from the hoi polloi. Some fraternities are designed to solve puzzles. This is the MIT puzzle mystery hunt. For some reason at MIT, MIT is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They do things that are very interesting, and they do some very strange things, and I don't know why they do those things. But the way that they do things is completely opposite from everything else. Their goal seems to be about having fun, and about just doing things for the sake of doing things for the sake of having fun. And also sort of like expanding your mind, right? It's sort of like, it's a well-known school because that's where a lot of technology people sort of like came from, and those people are kind of cracked at what they do, right? They're famous for their pranks. For instance, somebody once was able to put a fire truck on the roof of the school that was upside down without anyone ever knowing. They once also were able to stick tables upside down on the ceiling without anyone ever knowing. And so there's like a certain level of like ingenuity that like comes with the school. And of course, in a world where the elites make these fraternities and they make these white shoe companies, MIT says, well, we'll do that, but you have to know how to solve puzzles. The mystery hunt for 2024 ended, but this is a full school thing that you can do, and you can do this both on school grounds. So some of these you have to like go and like do it there, but other things you can do by yourself at home, and you can just see things. So, for instance, you can go for the aquarium hunt, or maybe actually no. There was a 2017 one actually. There you go. You can actually just do this online. The 2017 one, which I'll post inside chat, has you choose a class, like an actual character class, and you go through and you need to figure out, okay, and you need to solve these different puzzles to get more and more points. And as you get more and more points, you'll be able to advance down your character class tree. It's a very, very cool system. Obviously, most of these points are only available to those who are there because you have to be there in order to get the character classes. But quite a few of these puzzles are online too. As you can see, this is a very interesting site because they it's like Babby's first MMO, right? Or like Babby's first like RPG game. This is like some of these like RPG Maker monstrosity, and like they even somehow made the business majors look kind of cool, right? But for some reason, the business major exists. So we have a party here. I want to choose the wizard because I know the wizard has stuff that we do on our own. Replenish Puzzling is my middle name. What? So for instance, like here, so you can go through this, and you can sort of see what all these puzzles are, and you can try to figure out what these mean, and by doing this, you can hopefully figure out, okay, what this is. I know the warrior puzzles you have to go walk around and like find them on the school grounds, but most of these you can do on your own. And these are pretty like crazy too, because it's like, what even is this? Like, how do you even solve this? How do you even begin to like solve this? And I wanted to show this to you all because at some point we're gonna try some of these to see how far we can go. Not today, obviously, because we have a pretty stacked day. So just Elden Ring alone is going to be quite the major thing to like do. What was this? Recites passages that no one would ever read aloud. What's this?
A.E. Hickle Monopwa.
What did you just say to me?
A.E. Hickle Monopwa.
Ahi Hickle Monopwa. What?
Hub kun fup skuv ye woo.
This is like Simlish, chat. This is like Simlish. It's like fucking Simlish.
Kaquirba.
What?
Kaquirba. Kaquirba.
That is actually Simlish. That is legitimately Simlish.
Kaquirba. Hub kun fup skuv ye woo. Hub kun fup ye woo. Cooks hub kun
Guys, I'm multicasting. Guys, I'm multicasting.
A.E. Hickle Monopwa. Obafkum. Obafkum. Zux vubnum. Cooksvir.
Okay, these last three sound like German.
Cooksvir. Obafkum.
This also sounds like German. This is amazing. We're gonna save these sound bites eventually for like stream. The first one especially.
A.E. Hickle Monopwa.
This is hilarious because the last thing you looked up on YouTube was the last Friday night in Simlish. What does that even mean? That's I don't even know if that's a real English sentence. Wait, the last Friday night in Simlish. Oh, we have a new comment on YouTube. Oh, I thought it was. Oh, see, it was from one of you, chat. I want you all to examine the comments that I get on some of these videos, chat, that are not from like the Twitch viewers. Some people go wild, chat. Some people go like wild. What's this?
But it's a fruby nope. But it's a fruby nope. But it's a fruby nope. But it's a fruby
Amazing. Actually amazing. It's Simlish spell casting. He's casting spells. Somebody stop him.
Yarby Denzel table dupes. Ebe Duka Mimi
A.E.
shoops.
Hickle
Ebe Gipsy upper
Monopwa.
goop.
A.E. Hickle Monopwa.
Katy Perry had a DLC in The Sims 3, which was just a mix of her tracks, but in Simlish. That's actually impressive. That's actually really, really cool. I've never heard of that, and I wish. See, this is why The Sims 3 is still better than The Sims 4. Because when we tried The Sims 4, that thing was just a money grab, which was very sad to see. The Sims 3 is where it's at. Because how else are you going to get a Katy Perry sort of like music DLC? Yeah, I just wanted to show that to you all, because at some point, we'll be including that within the puzzle streams themselves, because that does seem fun. There's also some other interesting puzzles that I want to do eventually in the future as well, just to sort of like show you guys, because some of these puzzles go into real life, and some of them are really, really creepy too. Like, very, very strange. So, we'll see how far it goes. However, in 20 seconds, an ad is about to start. So, to all the non-subs, I'm sorry. However, we're not going to start yet. This is a good chance for us to just chill out for a bit. When you're back, you'll be able to hear some songs, okay? In the meantime, let me talk about the situation with the subs. This is a good time because this only really applies to people who did sub. And then for the people who didn't sub, well, you don't really care about this, so like, what does it really matter, right? Again, sorry about the emails not being uploaded. Okay, tonight they'll be uploaded. About three or four of them. Okay, somebody else gifted us a set of emotes. Athel. The problem is that I had these 5 sets of emotes planned from beforehand, and I didn't realize that the maximum amount of emotes was like 5. Okay. Actually, I have like 8 emotes, but, you know, so the problem is that like they'll have to filter in slowly. As far as I can tell, the emote slots get higher and higher the more things that we get. I don't know the conditions though, but I have to do some certain tasks. So every now and then, during the pre-streams from now on, I'm going to ask all of you to press a button within the channel points thing. And then you're going to do it once, and then I'm going to turn it off for the rest of the stream. And we're going to do it once every 60 days, so we get 2 more bonus slots, okay? It's going to be the least annoying thing ever. It'll just show up very, very quickly, and then that's it. It'll disappear for 60 days, and we'll get those emote slots to use. There won't be an animated emote yet, just because of the complexity of that, and also like I'm the artist for all of our own stuff. Like I haven't commissioned any of this. I'm just making it. So, I mean, it's going to take me a while to, like, make something animated. I do have an idea of what it will be, but hopefully you do like it. And my goal for the emotes is that you're going to have things that you can use in other channels, too. So, it won't just be in, like, this channel that it makes sense. And it won't just be here where it, like, where you'll be normal or where you'll be seen as a normal person using it. You can use them in like very funny ways, in like very very different ways, moving forward as well. That's my goal with these things. As well, I've thought about I've thought more about the subscriber benefits, and I realized like if it's too bad, then you feel kind of bad because then you only get ad-free viewing, and so maybe I do want to provide some value because it is pretty expensive. I'm thinking more about what it will be, but just know that there will be more than just the investor reports, as well as the VIP access to, like, you know, if you want to get into like a Discord channel, or if you want to, like, you know, get priority access to like a game slot or like something, right? There'll be more than that in the future, so just be aware that there's going to be actually more value than I thought there would be. Because I thought about it more, and I realized if you're going to spend the money on me, I kind of want to make it worth it for your money to be spent on, right? It's kind of like, the problem is that my value of money is always sort of built around like games and like what I would price my own games at. And I feel like games are priced at a very cheap level to the point where you get like insane value for a very low like price. So it may go too far in one way, but hopefully it still feels fine, okay? But I'll tell you guys once I have a better idea of what it is. Just know that it won't be anything that you have to spend more money for, okay? So I also wanted to mention that there probably will never be merch, just because I feel bad about having merch. Because it's like, I don't want you to spend more money to get more money to like have more things. It just feels kind of like a waste of money, unless it's something that really benefits your like life, right? But it's not gonna be like I can't give you like, the merch will never be like a 40/90, and so what's the point of me making the like merch, right? It'll always be something that you can sort of access for free as part of your subscription package. That's sort of what I want to sort of go for, is value added on top of what your subscription is, versus necessarily you having to do more things to unlock more tiers of value, like a shitty battle pass in a certain way, right? It's not to say that we will never do it. I mean, if I ever get like a cool idea for like merch, and it actually is like nice and like comfortable for like people to like wear, or like just have, then maybe. Can I make a stick thing plushie? Yeah, you can actually make that yourself. So so everyone can actually do this, okay? Get a piece of A4 or A5 paper, get a pencil, draw a stick figure. You now have an official stick thing merch. Stick thing dildo. Yeah, I have that too. Take a pencil, shove it up your ass. It all starts from the pencil, right? The pen is mightier than the rubber that they use to make those things. That's all it takes, chat. So again, remember, you want to support the stream, take a pencil, shove it up your ass. Welcome back, non-ad viewers. We're going to go and start everything today. This session of what we're going to be doing today. As I mentioned, we're going to be playing some Elden Ring today, which is going to be a lot of fun. As you all know, I'm an Elden Ring pro player because we absolutely demolished the Tree Sentinel. Yes, that's right. The Tree Sentinel was nothing to me. But before we start everything, I always like to play a song. And I think this song is going to be very, very good for this session because of, I guess, how upbeat it is and how fun it sounds. This song is called Getcha, and it's made by 2 artists, maybe 3. If you include, do you include a Vocaloid in the artist thing? Maybe. By Giga and Kira, who were the composers and the writers of it. And this is a Vocaloid song involving Hatsune Miku, which, as you, I'm sure we're all fans of Hatsune Miku here, Domino's newest partnership. But this song is very, very fun and very interesting, and I enjoy the sounds of it. And I've been getting more and more into Vocaloid songs because of how interesting they are, and I really enjoy the voice sets that they have. So I hope that you enjoy this too. Here's the link to the song. Enjoy. Vocaloid songs recently. Because of that, there's something about every single Vocaloid song, I guess, like composer or like author, whatever the term is. They're really good at capturing a certain vibe into their song. And it's not just upbeat songs. There's actually some pretty sad songs as well. There's some very interesting retrospective songs as well. I'll maybe be playing more throughout today's stream because there's quite a few that I really enjoy. The fascinating part about the Vocaloids I've been learning more about is I thought Vocaloids were actually fully synthesized voices. So what I mean by that is I thought the voices came from nothing. I thought somebody just programmed all the voices and they eventually just tuned it until they had something that sounded interesting, right? But, sorry, let me take a sip of my coffee. But no. The way that these voices are made, the way that Vocaloid voice profiles are made, they start from a recording of a real person. So Hatsune Miku is a real person. Somebody out there sounds like Hatsune Miku, okay? And when she probably like says something, people probably do like a double take and like Hatsune Miku. The crazy thing is that most of the VAs are known, and it's different generations of them too. So as somebody sort of like gets older, their voice changes and like stuff. As their voice changes, they bring in somebody new to like do a certain thing. One of the most interesting cases, actually, is a particular Vocaloid model, which I forget the name of, but it's the one behind the Lag Train song, which is also a very good song, which we might play at some point. It's one of the more saddest songs, so I'll wait till a sad part inside of whatchamacallit, Elden Ring before we like play it. Oh, here we go. Kai Yuki. This is a very interesting voice. The voice like actor for this for this Vocaloid model was 9 years old. So they're like a very, very small child providing their like voice. And it ends up being like a very interesting sort of like look into how they make these models, because as this character aged, as that person aged, they had to bring in some of the new kid to like voice the next generation of this model in order to like still provide that like same youthful sound, which is a very fascinating problem to have. I never would have really thought about that. Have I listened to Synth V? I've never listened to Synth V. Let me add that to the list to check it out. But one of the most interesting parts about Vocaloids in general is that did you hear how clear the words were in that song, and yet how at some points it still sounded kind of like stilted in a way? It sounds a bit like me talking, right? The key is that by default, when you actually try to make these things speak words, it sounds like shit. It actually takes a lot of effort to actually make them sound good, and I didn't realize that. I don't necessarily know why, from a technicality, from a technical perspective, but this is before I think any of the, I guess, like newer machine learning models where it's like they recreate voices from like different bits and pieces, and they have like a whole thing set up to like recreate speech. This is sort of like the precursor to that, and so I imagine it's just an artifact of the way that like if you don't write it in a certain way, it won't sound good, or if you don't mix the voice in a certain way, because there's apparently levers that you can push and pull to make the voice sound like a different way, like the whole pitch, the tone, the room, the stuff like that. And it's fascinating to sort of see the evolution of Vocaloids. And there's a shit ton of models, chat. There's a ton of models, so there's a whole wiki of them. And there are literally hundreds of like, well, it feels like hundreds, but there's at least like 50 different models, and they all sound completely different from each other. There's even one called the Big Al. And Bruno, this one is like a duo. There's Pauta. There's actually crazy ones. It's a software similar to Vocaloid. Oh, Synth V. From Dreamtonics, I'm assuming. Let's just check this out together, chat. Real vocals. And real vocals, why am I reading it like that? Real vocals, unreal speed and convenience, a new dimension in music production. Accelerate cross-lingual synthesis. What does that mean? That was a cross-lingual. Wait, okay, we're gonna hear something. It's like a tutorial video. ザ V がすごいアップデートしたよみんなにクリスマスプレゼント and a happy new year. Whoa, it even has the accent. Wait, Chad, it even has accents. Where tidings we bring to you and your kin. It's like Google Translate. So if you don't know, you can do this on Google Translate here. Let me actually like show you all. So on Google Translate, you can actually do this. Yeah, many languages. Yeah, the new ones also use AI. Yeah, but the older ones, I'm curious how they were like done, because you can hear the weird like stiltedness of them. I mean, obviously it's not really a concern now, but wait, I can't show you yet. Let me just crop this out, because it's giving me like a fake address, but still it's kind of scary. Why does this thing even bother trying to find your address? Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, if you go into Google Translate and you type anything in your desired language, you can actually get it to like say things. So, what was the song? Good tidings we bring. And Google can just do this. So, good tidings we bring. Language is Japanese. Good tidings we bring. I think that's a much better accent than whatever this thing does. To you and your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year. Oh, good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year.
Good tidings we bring to you and your king. Good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year.
I shouldn't laugh at that. Anyways, I just want to show you all of that because I find that Vocaloid stuff very interesting, and I kind of want to use one at some point for like a song because like you hear my voice, I can't hit certain notes. I can go on like a pretty high falsetto, but I can't go like high enough to go like crazy because it's very hard. The problem is that the Vocaloid stuff seems to cost a shit ton of money because you have to like license it, and I'm like, oh god, that's a lot of money. You want to write a voice sense for a while since there's not really an open one. Yeah, there's not really like an open one. I mean, it's not like a crazy amount, and there is like a free something. There's like a free package and like a free trial or like something, but there's nothing that's like fully open in terms of like open source. Yeah, I mean, I guess now there kind of can be because like ML stuff and AI stuff is very easy to like do, but I don't know if it's it seems like a surprisingly hard thing to like do because you need like a very very good set of data, and every single like AI application that I found, anytime they pitched it and then we like talked about it, the thing that really held them back was always, do they have the money in order to buy the data set that's actually high quality enough to make it work? And if you don't, then you're kind of shit out of luck because like that's where the money really is being able to manipulate from a good data set in the first place. So I mean, again though, that's like the modern day AI ML, you know, data-driven stuff. I don't know how synthesizers used to be made, but we'll see how it goes. But if you do, be sure to drop a line because I'd be curious to see what it is. There's UTAL, but it's not fully open. We think they're open source compatible with unauthorized. I guess that counts. Oh, with like illegal ones? I mean, I guess so. With UTAL. Oh, sorry. Yeah, because the autocorrect. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check these out because I am curious about what these are. I'm curious about how they work and stuff like that, and I'll drop a link. Actually, be sure to drop a link inside of the tech channel. Inside the Discord, there's also a tech channel for all of this like stuff. But chat, I've been craving Elden Ring, and it's time for us to start. I'm gonna snooze the ad for like 3 times because since we're gonna start Elden Ring, I think we need like a full hour for it. Just snooze, snooze, and snooze. There we go. Time to go right into it. But please do drop it inside of the tech channel because I'm sure everyone else would be interested too if they're interested in like the deeper dive behind what this stuff is. It's also related to like music production, which is interesting as well. It's a very interesting mix of the two. Okay, so this is the educational talk now. Here, if a transcript doesn't look good, you just take the Swedish Scholastic Aptitude Test. Oh, where you just do it and you get like the whole thing, right? Like you get your certificate that you've passed, like say high school, right? If that makes sense. Sorry, that was just the outro for the game. Just because the VOD for the game, because I don't edit after. It was getting long in the tooth about education, and I think this is an interesting topic that deserves its like actual airtime that isn't stuck in like an Elden Ring VOD, if that makes sense. Don't like you failed F, not pass. Oh, I see. So you take a summer course, not you got a C and want to improve it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, here I've seen the ones that want to improve it, and I've seen ones that have failed, but they weren't considered failed. They just gave them like a 50% just to pass them, like a last chance thing. There's a lot of people actually who like do that, who like barely get through, and then they just do like a 50% pass. Actually no, I do know 1 or 2 people that like did fail. Actually, I know they didn't really care, but I think they did do a summer course afterwards for some reason. I think maybe to fix those, but that was at like my first school. I think my first school. Well, you take one test and you get a score. Then based on that score, you can get into an education as long as you get all the prerequisites. Okay, yeah, so it's similar to what I'm talking about then. I guess it's just like a different term for it, but specifically, actually, I guess that's the thing. I guess that's also a difference then. Based on that score, you can get into an education. Does the score change the schools that would take you? Like a higher score, does it lead to a more prestigious school, or is every school technically open to you? And there is no like higher acceptance criteria of like say like you say like, oh, you must be a straight A plus student, 4.0 GPA, and you must have volunteered all of your like time. Like, does that score matter for that? Because the prerequisites make sense. Because like, yeah, as you mentioned, like Like you need biology for like med school, which like makes sense, right? Like you can't really skip that. Every school is open to you. Okay, so that's where the difference lies then. Here, not every school is open to you. They will have pretty ridiculous requirements. Where it's like, well, they're open to you, but like you have to like, it's like if you're seen as like a lower student, you won't get in. And they only take the best of the best, so they're technically not really open. They're only open to the best of the best. Which is both a relative thing, but also an absolute scale of like you must get at least 90% or more on your grades to like get into the school. And that's just to apply, for instance. Every school is open to you, but you have to compete with other applicants. Okay. But there's no like score requirement to even apply, right? Like you're still able to apply. You just then have to compete, right? Like maybe that's the difference then. If you're missing a prereq, you can go to Convex, which is an adult education funded by the municipality. Oh, interesting. So it's funded specifically by the municipality and not like the entire nation. Huh. I guess, is that mandated by the entire nation? I'll have to read more about that. I won't bother you too much about that, but it's interesting to see the experience of like the educational side and how like they designed the pipelines for education. I find that to be a very key aspect of like how good your like how good your population is in general at being able to take care of themselves and thus provide and like give money into the system back. Because it takes tax money to raise people, and so you want to have people succeed, and so you have to have some level of support for people to be able to like provide back into the system and become productive members of society, right? So if a school has a med program where they have 20 slots open, 20 people with 2.0 apply, then you don't have, if you don't have 2.0, you get fucked in the butt. Okay, yeah. But it's not like, yeah. But it's not like a hard requirement then. Okay. Yeah, so, okay, yeah. So it's the same here in terms of competition. But it's not the same in terms of like, there is a score requirement for like a lot of places. Or maybe I'm misinterpreting that score requirement as like exactly the competition. They won't even bother looking at you. But I do remember them being very specific about like, you need to have at least like an A to, for instance, apply to like, say, like, I don't know, Harvard or like something. It's mandated everywhere. A municipality is required to provide that. Oh, I see. So it's mandated, and then they figure out the details of like how. Gotcha. So do this, but you have the leeway to figure out how you're going to do it because it depends on who you, on where you live and what they're capable of. You can't. I don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Every place is gonna have Every place is gonna have like a different way of being able to provide that and fund that in some way, and like be able to like consistently have those things ready, and that's gonna be dependent on what that place does. So, that makes sense. That's a cool system though. I can see why they say the Swedish school system is a lot better. So yeah, welcome to the Canadian school system. But there's a lot of interesting issues that I've seen. And this is from the lens of someone who like dropped out because like I found it too slow. And also I found it very annoying too. Like, this is from the lens of someone who like dropped out to go straight into software like way earlier than like anyone else. And it's at least in my peer group, right? It's like I imagine people who are still stuck in it necessarily don't see it, or like they don't really have the like choice and the opportunity, right? So as much as I can bemoan the state of it, people can only try their best within the system that they're provided most of the time if they have no other outs. I'm lucky that programming's free and that I had a computer that we salvaged somehow. So it's just a reality of like opportunities. Well, they're required to be able to provide. No, but like what I mean is like it's like the whole like I guess like I don't know, to put it in like game terms, it doesn't matter how you build your like army or like how you win it doesn't matter how you win Civ. Like you have to win your civilization match, but it doesn't really matter how. You can do like a cultural win or a military win or like something, but you do it based on what you think is best. That's kind of the thing that I was aiming towards. But you can tell me if I'm wrong on like that too. And there's a curriculum they're required to fulfill. They rarely go beyond that, but it's a good one. Which is, I mean, that's like good though. If your base curriculum is like good and that's required, then it means that overall, then you get like a really good baseline education. And then you almost don't need anything extra if your curriculum is like good, right? Because then it's like, okay, you have all the tools that you need as at like a baseline of like, okay, you know, this curriculum teaches you everything that you need, and you don't really need much else because it provides so much that you don't need to go out of your way to provide more, which would require you to figure out even more, I guess, like funding sources and teachers and headcount and like, I guess, like in organizational details as well of like, how do you structure these like classes? How do you ensure that there's time for them to do these classes? You know, stuff like that. Like, that's a much better system, IML, to provide a strong base foundation, and then at that point you don't even need the extra stuff because it's like, I mean, do you really need it? You have a good foundation now. That's almost all you really need. Is a really good foundation, filled with all the things that you would want and need in like life. But yeah, just think of the requirement to provide it and the statement that I made in terms of like the civilization win thing. You can do a cultural win, you can do like a finance win, you can do like a military win, but it's up to you to decide what, but you have to win. Yeah. You took a math class at Convex before you did your tertiary education engineering degree. That's a much better term, tertiary. I actually was curious about what that sounds like for other places. Because here we do post-secondary, which doesn't really sound very good, but like, it also makes sense because it's literally everything after secondary, so it could be tertiary, but it could also be your fourth time doing it. Like, you're coming back and switching careers, so it could be your... what's that term? Quandary? No, it's not quandary. There's some English term for it that's similar to tertiary, up to like 4. It was evening classes with a teacher, and it felt basically the same as taking a course in high school. Nice. Wait, that's actually really good. Because that even means that the adult education system is like a very good system too. Here, I'm gonna say it, man. I've seen the adult education courses here, where like it's for people either switching course, like for any reason, right? Like adults will quarterly. I mean, I don't know if that's the word though. Like quarterly just sounds like a fake word. Tertiary sounds more real than like quarterly, so I don't know. It is. Well, it's historical. Historical, rare, obsolete. It doesn't exist anymore. Historical, rare, obsolete. Historical, rare, obsolete. I mean, but it does work though. It is technically the exact one because it follows the structure, but I don't know. It just sounds wrong compared to tertiary or binary or monary. It just sounds wrong, but that's just like I don't know, like a personal preference thing. But yeah, the adult classes here, they vary wildly in quality. And again, adult classes could be for any reason, whether you want to change, you know, careers, which does, I mean, that's like an important thing, right? Like, if you find that your career is now starting to die down due to forces outside of your control, you want the flexibility to be able to like switch, and that's a very good thing for like any place to have. Regardless of what that nation is or what it's doing, it's very important to make sure that your workforce can stay productive and can feel productive and can actually train to become productive, right? Again, in civilization terms, you really want to use your resources well because you don't really have many of them in the grand scheme of things. But here, the courses don't really work out well, right? Like, it's, even if it's like, no matter what the reason is why someone's taking it, just the course itself doesn't feel very, very good. I know the programming course, for instance, here, we have like a programming course that allows you to sort of like get like a taste for it, and then you can sort of like then have like a baseline skill set with all the necessary trimmings of like, okay, what's your mathematical background and like stuff to go on to like an actual CS degree later. That shit is, it's shit. It's actually shit. I saw someone take it once, and I was like, the teacher both didn't know what they were teaching, and then on top of that, there was like the way that they explained things, because it was from the curriculum, just was it was almost like misleading in the way that it explained things. Like, nothing was very, very clear. And because if it's set up to a subjective whim, you don't have an objective answer to what's good. You just have whoever's teaching, and you hope that they can sniff out what is good versus not good. And honestly, this person should not have been teaching, right? Again, it's just the reality that like this is how it's going to be. But it seems like we don't have the resources to make an adult class work. It did not feel like a high school class. In particular, it felt worse than a high school class. You know some people from Asia. Oh, who did they immigrate there, or were they there just for schooling? Well, I mean, technically, it doesn't really matter. By the fact that we had like a 50-year-old guy in your engineering program, and that while most people straight up high school, there were a chunk of mid-20s to mid-30s people too. It's not uncommon to respecialize here though. Yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be uncommon anywhere to respecialize, because the truth of the matter is that like the market forces and the forces that define what is available in your locale is often out of the hands of the hoi polloi, out of the average person. Like if all of a sudden, right? If you say you're in Canada, and you put and you tell Menor to ban all like news here, right? And then in return they decide to then drop all of their technological offices, and they were the only technological job provider in your city, you'd be fucked. Like you wouldn't be able to practice tech anymore without having to leave your country, and that's not a feasible thing for most people. So it makes sense to provide that. Yeah, I'm surprised that they were surprised though. I wonder if it's because of their naivety, if that makes sense. Like maybe they were they also fresh out of high school, and so maybe they just didn't have the life experience to think about it. Because it could just be a privilege thing of hey, if they have the means to go to Sweden from Asia to study, I imagine they come from a much more elite bracket. Especially when you consider that depending on where they're from Asia, they may have very overwhelming income disparities. And so it's the bottom class will never even see outside of their front door, if that makes sense. No, friends who live in Asia. Oh, I see, sorry. And just basically felt it wasn't possible for them to respecialize where they were that same way. My bad might be the same elsewhere, but those were the ones that were surprised. Yeah, I mean, I can see why they were surprised, yeah. Because again, yeah. I guess it does depend then on where they were in Asia. And what the lifestyle is there. Because I don't know. Say it's from say you're from Vietnam, right? Respecialization is kind of similar to taking a poison pill and hoping that your body grows resistance to it like a Rasputin of sorts. Because you only really have one shot, and poverty is widespread there, right? It's the norm is poverty, living in a very shitty rundown place. There is the higher class is a very, very hard class to get into because there's just not many opportunities. And so it's okay, do you really want to risk it? So maybe that? I don't know. Is that the teacher? Nope, that's my classmate. What the fuck? That kind of conversation. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. Yeah, because we have that here. You'll very often see older people into the classes, and you talk to them, and you're oh shit. At least for me, I saw a fair amount of older people in classes that I was able to preside in, but I don't know if that's necessarily a indication of anything. That could also just be a happenstance, right? Of what classes allow a programmer to preside in it, to review it as a funny, not as a funny, but as a thing that is done as a charity thing. How many courses would do that, and does that lend itself to a certain audience, right? So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of questions. Yeah, if you ever do listen to this, and you do want to change your career, absolutely should. If you feel like you have to, or you feel like you want to, why not? Make sure you do it in a safe way, obviously. Don't just drop everything, quit your job, and then try to become a game dev. And then hopefully you release something in a year. That will never happen. But if you want to go and expand your horizons, and you realize or you think that you could do more and you're not getting enough, and you want to take that risk, and you feel like it's a worth it risk, then go for it, right? That's the reality of it, is that it's absolutely worth it if you can make it work for yourself. If you put in the effort, it can be very, very worth it. Not that it will be worth it. I mean, the truth of the matter is that there's more to it in terms of okay, what's the job market like and stuff like that, but that's a whole different. You need to figure that out on your own. I'm not your father, chat. But that's a fascinating, very fascinating discussion. It does actually track though, because I do have a lot of Asian friends too, who are straight from Asia, who are no, why wouldn't you just work at a place, even if it's shit? Because you need the job. And yeah, but at the same time, it's if you have choice. Because for them, they never had choice. So it's they just came over here. They needed a better life. And so they will take anything. They're very hungry in that sense, because it's they have no better options. Like, your study group had only one guy who was straight out of high school. Everyone else was older, and some of them were just mind blown when you showed a picture of us. Look at this guy. He's going back to learn and be better. Disgusting. I was jumping on this table for so long, and I wonder what these weapons represent. But I won't theory craft yet, because I'm going to save that for the Elden Ring stream. I mean, this is the Elden Ring stream, but now we're, like, talking. This is good background music. This reminds me of, like, brain rot content, where you have, like, you know, a game on, and people just, like, talk. But it's not a brain rot. We're talking about, like, an actual topic that's, like, a very fundamental piece of how to build, like, a city, how to build, like, a village, how to build, like, a town, how to build, like, a nation, really. How to build, like, a living place. None of them were really dismissive, though. They all loved it. Yeah, for sure. Like, I didn't assume that they were dismissive there. Like, for sure, it's just more of, like, a shock thing of, like, wow, that's cool. Like, I can't believe that actually happens, because that's, like, cool, but they've never seen it done before, and so it's like, oh, man, like, I can't believe that it's possible there. I don't think anybody would see that as disparaging. Because then it's, if anything, if they saw that, that's like, the best advertisement for, like, hey, come study here. Because then it's like, oh, wait, even if you made the wrong choice, or even if you decide that it's not the best choice for you, there's still the opportunity to try again. And then you'll eventually land on it, and then the society that you live in will still treat you well, because they know that in the end, you'll be a productive member of society who provides back. That's a very, very good thing. It's a very good, like, whatchamacallit? Advertisement, endorsement for the style of, like, living, which is good. But yeah, thanks, chat, for telling me about all of your school stuff. It's fascinating. I always love hearing about where people live from and, like, how it operates, because every single place operates differently, and I'm always curious about, like, okay, like, does my layman theory crafting make sense, or is it hampered by something, right? And I need to go back to the drawing board on quite a few assumptions, and I need to see, like, okay, like, how could it be better? It's a fun thing that I do, just to see, like, okay, if one day I'm ever isekai'd and I get the power to rule, like, a nation, what would I do? It's a fun little thought experiment that is totally not rooted in the desire to restart life. Some thought, like, damn, my mom could go back to school if she was in Sweden, and it felt good as fuck to say, yeah, please, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, too, actually. I know a lot of people whose, like, parents want to go back to school for, like, stuff, but they feel like they can't. And again, it's like, the truth is, like, even here, for instance, right? If you're unemployed in, like, Canada, and you don't qualify for welfare, because you need to make, like, $0, so you need to basically be on the cusp of homelessness, which is a very stressful thing, right? And you need to be, I guess, like, unable in, like, a certain way to, like, work for whatever reason, then you just get shit on. Like, it's just like, okay, like, you have no money, good luck. Like, you're on your own. And so it's like, there's no real easy way for us to go back into that stuff. That's just, like, one aspect, for instance, so fascinating. I hope you get isekai'd into our world and fix it. I don't know if you really want that, chat, because I just said that I want to make a dominatrix in Elden Ring, and I don't know if you want me to fix things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, being a dominatrix is kind of cool, guys. It's kind of cool. And it's red. Orange, which is a pretty good color. And it staggers surprisingly well. I think there's a lot of stagger damage, actually. Very fast, too. But that is cool, though. Again, to anyone watching, please always feel free to go back to school and do your thing. Find your thing to, like, do, which is good. It's better to know what to do and, like, try it, and then, you know, find your thing and then love it, and then be able... Because if you love it, you can do it for a much longer time than if you don't love it, and even though it depends on your workplace still, it's a hell of a lot easier than hating the actual act of it regardless, which is nice. You get an allowance here to study regardless of the age. Ah, see? We don't. Wait, do you have to pay back your allowance? Is it like a loan, or is it like an actual allowance where they actually just give you the money and it's, like, free of charge? Because here... we have a loan system, which is OSAP, but you need to be under a certain income level to qualify for certain amounts, and you have to pay it back as well. And the interest rate is ludicrous to the point where there's stories of people who are, like, 30 years later, they're still paying it back. Like, I have friends who are still paying back theirs, and they're trying their best to pay it back, and there's different programs to, like, freeze it and, like, not pay it back until a certain amount that you make. In terms of, like, if, like, until you make a certain amount, then the interest rates kick in. But even then, it's still a lot of money. Allowance, but you can get loans too. Damn. You guys have it good. You guys have it really, really good. Here, you apply for a grant, and the form that you enter says your name has to be within a certain length. Okay, I have a fairly short name, not super short, but fairly short, and it just didn't fit inside the box. And I was like, what the fuck? I can't apply for this, right? I've also had like stuff where it's like, oh, like you have to choose your last name from a checkdown box, and they didn't have my last name because it's also a fairly rare Vietnamese last name. So it's like, oh fuck, like I can't do anything. And so it's like, okay, well, what do I do? There's been a lot of like weird issues here. It's strange. I don't know why. But even then, even if you get in, it's like a competition of like, okay, well, do you get it compared to the other applicants? And it's like, ah, shit, here we go again. You got to do all these kinds of things. You need to write like a letter, do like this stuff, like do like a show your like progress in like some like thing. It's a crazy system. At least there are grants, but I feel like the process should be easier for them because education equals opportunity, which equals returns on investment as a nation. So. But loans have an amazing interest rate, though. Really, huh? Like if you qualify, you should take it. Even if you only put it in the bank, you still earn for it. Holy shit! Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, here I think. Oh wait, actually, I can check this now. Canada OSAP interest rate. Well, I mean Ontario technically. Repayment calculator. Let's say I pay 30,000 for my class, which is, I mean, that's like a fairly average thing. How long do I want to take to repay my debt? I don't know, like 10 years. Let's just say 114 months. Average rate is currently 2.5. So the average rate for our loan for education is 2.5. Average. Which means some of them are a bit lower, but for the most part, they trend towards like the average, right? So I don't know what that range is, but I imagine some people have really shitty rates. But that's like, on average, that's what everyone gets. And that lines up with what I've seen from other people too. It's actually the highest it's ever been where you live now, in a decade now, and it's 1.23%. In 2022, it was 0. God damn. Yeah, during COVID, the fact that it was 0 is good. I mean, to be fair, here they also froze repayments on like loans, as student loans as well, because like they're like it's COVID, like you can't do anything, right? Like you weren't even like going to school. It took a lot of effort though, I think, and you had to like apply for it, but it was doable. But when it kicked back in, yeah, 2.5% average, which is kind of bad. Ooh. That's pretty bad. And it only applies to full-time loans. So you have to go to school full-time. So you can't be somebody who's like doing like a part-time loan to do like a say you need to keep working to survive because you've got like a sick mother or something, right? Like that's a very common issue. And you can't just drop it, and OSAP can't support you both, so you still need to work, but you still want to like transition eventually. You're shit out of luck. Those rates are probably higher or lower, but probably higher because I'm assuming that notice at the bottom of the website is specifically because it will be higher. They wouldn't tell you otherwise if it's lower, I don't think. They would just say, yeah, assume this, but lower for part-time, instead of saying this doesn't apply. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. Yeah, exactly. Find your thing, because otherwise Stick will find you. Exactly, yeah. And try your best to find your thing, too. Just, I don't know. I find it important to like what you do on like a daily basis. Because even if your workplace sucks, you can change your workplace. But it's hard to even want to work in an amazing job if the thing that you do, you really hate, right? And this is obviously, there's levers to pull, right? The main lever is money, the other lever is like other things, but it's mainly money. But obviously, that's like the prime consideration, right? And if I was making $1 million, I absolutely would suck, dick every day, 100%, right? And that's not even like a bad thing. That's actually like it's not that bad. What's like a bad thing? If I was paid $1 million, I absolutely would dive like naked, only goggles, into the sewer like water, like the water in a sewer pipeline, to find the rings that have been flushed down the toilet. If I could be paid $1 million, right? 100%, I would do that. Well, I don't know. Scat fetish is a thing, but either way, I'm saying is there is a price point where I would do things, right? And so it's like, okay, like, but at the same time, I would maybe only do it once or twice. Whereas like if you find the thing that you want to do, that really helps a lot. I like programming and playing games, but mostly programming. I actually don't think playing games is like the main crux of like what I want to do. It's just the reality that that's what Twitch is, and it's very handy. It's set up for like game streaming. It's not really set up for like other streams. But tomorrow, we're gonna have a normal day, doing some fun, interesting, smaller stuff. Maybe some Bloodstains. I don't know about the programming thing, because I think the Bloodstain thing I want to do for a while, because there's a randomizer mode, as well as like a different mode entirely that isn't co-op or PvP. And I want to try them all to see how different it is as a game now. I'm very curious to see how Bloodstained is. So we'll do that tomorrow. It's like a fun break day. Because too many, like, all work and no play makes Stick a dull boy, right? All work and no play makes Stick a dull boy. Not that this is work, but I can't do like long series for too long, because then I'll go crazy. I need dopamine adjustments from doing different things. So thanks for watching, chat. As always, the VODs will be on the VOD channel. Yada yada yada. Join the Discord if you can, if you want to. And then just be wary about the subbing thing. There's a whole... I'll write a guide in the Discord so you know for sure why you're subbing, so you don't sub and you waste your money. I'm out. See you all tomorrow. Same time as always. I won't be late. Swear to God. And then, again, as a reminder, the book club is now open. You can choose any of the books that you want to go on that list. If you can find translations for them, try your best. If you can't, my bad. I can't find it for you. I mean, I don't even know what languages you all speak, so good luck, I guess. There'll be more books next time, but take it easy. Have fun with it. Please post your pet pictures. I know most of you motherfuckers in here have pets. My dog is dominating that channel, and a single cat photo came? No. We need more, chat. More. Post your pet photos. Now. Pronto. Now. We need to collect pets. I just be careful about... I'm pretty sure it's Discord strips the metadata, but just in case, just be careful. But yeah. Good night. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, stay sex. Yeah, toodles. Yeah, exactly. Stay sex. And I'll see you all tomorrow. And also in the Discord after, because there's a couple things I forgot to post from yesterday, like the songs and stuff, so... Bye.